Welcome to Bob's Coffee Chat. Today we are going to talk about unblocking the path to reaching your business goals, presented by Rachel Michaelsen. Rachel is a clinical social worker who has been practicing psychotherapy for over 30 years using energy psychology techniques. In the last year, she has integrated sound healing into her work and found an effective way to use these techniques over Zoom with individuals and groups. Today, Rachel will help us identify any blocks and use vibrational healing to clear the path to your success. Have earbuds or headphones handy. And Rachel, I will turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Bob. So welcome, everybody. I'm really excited to share with you the process that I go through when I do groups, and this sort of thing I invented about 9 months ago that's been brought some pretty profound shifts for people in the groups. And I do offer a twice a week free group that's just energy and sound healing. And I just put in the chat the link if you want to go read about it and get the Zoom link. It's Monday nights and Thursday nights. And people come in and we do different techniques to release stress. As of April 12th, it had been going for a year. And I started counting in June, and there was over 2,000 logins in the last year to that group that were counted. So it's a really great place to go when you just need to de-stress, and you get a good half hour of sound bath plus other things for releasing. So what we're going to do is actually just start with an exercise that will calm your nervous system down. So if you just take your left ankle and cross your right ankle, and your right wrist and cross your left wrist. And then you can turn your palms this way and go like that. Or you can just put them on your thighs. The goal is to put your palms on your body. And then the breathing technique with this is breathing in through your nose with the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. You don't have to open your mouth like me. I'm demoing. And the exhale is out your mouth with your tongue totally relaxed on the floor of your mouth. Almost like you're ready to drool. And you can just keep following your breath. We'll do it for about a minute. And I'm gonna repeat the instructions for Millie. So Millie, if you put your left ankle over your right ankle and your right wrist over your left wrist, and then you can, there you go. Breathe in with the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and exhale, releasing your tongue on the floor of your mouth and breathing out your mouth. We'll be doing this for about 30 more seconds. And then you can uncross your arms and legs and bring all your fingertips so they're touching like this, and you put them between your eyebrows. And you look really silly. 3 slow, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And after your third exhale, at your own pace, you can put your hands down. And just take a minute to notice how you're feeling now. So basically, that's an exercise that gets you out of fight or flight. We call it sympathetic dominance or fight or flight, and it will get you back into a calmer state. And you can, there you go. Susanna's got a good yawn. That's a good sign. She's going to go back to bed. So it's a great opportunity to get your body to downshift. And when you need to focus and concentrate, being in fight or flight isn't helpful. You don't think creatively. You're trying to run from the lion, right? You're not trying to have creative thoughts or connect with people or all the things you do in your work. So the groups that I've developed are, there's two groups. One of them is for people who are trying to reach a specific goal that they've been having trouble achieving, and the other is finding life partnership. So they're basically similar ideas because they're goals, but we're going to really talk about what's your business goal. If you want to work on that, you can work on any goal. What we will, this is being taped, but when you do share personally, when there'll be a time, we'll just stop the audio, we'll pause the audio so you don't feel like your personal business is going on to the internet. And of course, you're only going to share as much as you're comfortable with. But, and so let me just tell you about my whole idea about these groups. And my experience is that people have negative beliefs about ourselves that get in the way. They're self-limiting beliefs, and you often see that term used when you're doing marketing training. What are your self-limiting beliefs that hold you back? But that happens whether you're dating, whether you're trying to buy a house and you think it's not possible, whether you're trying to start a business or add something new to your business. You can easily get into the self-limiting belief mode. And generally those self-limiting beliefs come from something that happened in our life. And my experience is it usually is really old. It's generally not something that just happened. It's usually something that happened with our parents, our siblings, friendships, or early love relationships. But often early love relationship choices are based on things that didn't work well with our parents. So I'm gonna mute right there. Okay, so basically, if we can figure out what happened that created the self-limiting belief that may have followed you around in your whole life, and I'll see people who have had things follow them through their whole life. So I had one person who was in a group who was absolutely afraid to, she was starting a class. It was a year-long class and she was recruiting people and she didn't want to say she was marketing. She was afraid of the term marketing and she kept saying she was doing outreach. And so we had to figure out, why was she afraid to actually market herself? And what was this belief that marketing was a dirty word, was the self-limiting belief. And basically I said, marketing is not a dirty word. You're an entrepreneur, you have to market yourself. So let's market it. So and she actually filled up her class. In 6 weeks, she filled up her class. She was halfway there and pretty stuck. I had someone else who was afraid to launch their business, and they actually finished their website and started to serve clients because they were able to get past that limiting belief. And somebody else who was absolutely frozen and hopeless about marketing, and they actually started doing the things on their list. They had a list, but they weren't doing any of it. And then on another level, but it's been really interesting, I've had a couple people who are hoarders, and they want to get their homes cleared out. And one person, both people in the group started actually going through stuff and getting rid of stuff. One of the people did more than that. She was going to go on a trip and she was usually totally nuts, packing and getting ready to go, and up till early in the morning the night before. And she said she sat down on the plane and went, oh my goodness, I did not flip out. Like, I just packed up and left and went to bed and blah, blah, blah. So it's like these things can be quite amazing. So in the process, we have people identify their limiting beliefs and then we clear them. And we clear them using techniques, excuse me, from the field of energy psychology and energy medicine. And so I'm going to actually walk you through the process. And the process starts with doing a visualization. And then you have a little time to reflect. and report back to the group. I'm looking at our time, and then we'll go through a clearing process, and then there'll be time for Q&A. So if you don't have your headset on, this is the time to get your headset on. And if you're not good at visualizations, don't worry. Just go with the experience. You're going to be hearing sound, and it's amazing what comes up without having to worry that you have to be perfect or know exactly how to do it. Okay. So let me just... So you should be able at this point to hear the tuning forks. And just notice your breath. And notice your heart chakra, which is right in the middle of your chest. And you can put both hands right over your heart chakra. Feel your breath as you're breathing. And imagine that you are flying over a timeline of your life. What does it feel like to be flying? And just take a moment to look at that timeline. Look at all the important goals you've achieved throughout your childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, up till now. The tests you took, the graduations you went through, sports activities, theater, music. What did you do? What did you achieve? Notice which achieved goals popped out at you. Pick one of those goals. What do you remember about the process of achieving that goal? What did you do? How did you approach it? What doubts or negative thoughts did you have about achieving that goal? And what did it feel like when you succeeded? Now think about a career goal that you have right now. What are the steps that you've already taken towards that goal? Think about the next steps you plan to take. How will it feel when you achieve that goal? As you think about that goal, what negative or self-limiting beliefs come to mind? Are they the same or different from the ones you experienced in the past? You can put one one hand on the top of your head, on your crown. It can be right over your headset, and the other can be on your forehead. And just ask yourself, what happened in your life that's led you to have this pattern of negative or self-limiting beliefs? Just go as far back as you can on your time travel and see what comes to mind. Just breathe and see what comes to mind. Notice if it's a single incident or a pattern of something that happened over and over. How do you feel in your body when you tune in to what happened? Notice your breath. As you come back to the group, notice if there are any insights you want to write down. And if nothing came up, we'll talk about that too, so don't be disappointed. We'll just see what's there. So we'll just take about a minute for you to write any notes. So what I'm going to do is have Bob put the recording on pause. And then anybody who wants to tap, it's really, really simple. And then what you do with tapping is I'm going to say something and you're going to respond. You're going to repeat what I say. And if it doesn't sound right to you, if it sounds a little off or you want to edit it, you're totally welcome to. Everybody's muted, so I will have no idea what you end up doing with this. It's totally one of the great things about it. So let me just show you the tapping points. They're really simple. They start on the side of the pinky side of the hand right here, so you can just take 2 fingers. We're using acupuncture points or acupressure points. And then we go to the top of the head. So it's actually technically, you know, where you used to have a soft spot, so it dips down a little bit. And then you tap on your eyebrows right on the hair. So don't go up here. You want to be on the hair by the bridge of the nose. And then you do the side of the eye right on the bone there. And then right under the bags so that you're actually on the cheekbone, kind of right above the flesh and below the bags. Under the nose, under the mouth, right under the collarbone. So if you take your middle fingers and put them on the knobs and you drop down, you'll be right 4 inches below the armpit. And you can do it that way or that way or that way. You can do one side or like that. And there are a couple people who, I'm going to be doing sound with this, but there are a couple people on this Zoom who actually know the points. And so if you get lost, you can follow along with them. We tap about 5. What I do is I say a phrase, you'll tap on that phrase. I'll go to the next phrase, you'll tap on that phrase. And so let me just get my sound set up. Oops. You know how it is when you have a million wires and they all decide at an inopportune time to get twisted. So, all right. So we'll start with a little bit of sound first, just to give you some more, sound. There's a little bit of sound. Here's some more sound. You can start by tapping on the side of your hand and saying, even though I have this self-limiting belief, and you're just going to keep tapping on the side of your hand. And even though this self-limiting belief was caused by, and fill in the blank. If you don't know what it was caused by, just say something in my past. I'm choosing to acknowledge all the feelings that come up when I'm not succeeding or when I hold myself back. And I'm choosing to release all of this, what happened, the belief, choosing to let it all go. We're going to do a variation on that 2 more times. Even though I have this self-limiting belief, let's say what it is. And even though it was caused by what happened in the past, let's say what happened. I'm choosing to acknowledge everything that happened and the way it's held me back. And I'm choosing now to let it go. And one more time, even though I have this self-limiting belief, and even though it was caused by something or some things that happened in the past, I'm choosing now to release all of that. I'm choosing to let it leave my system now. Everything that doesn't serve me, all the memories, all the emotions, all the distress. And starting on the top of your head, what happened? What happened in the past? And now say it. And say it again. I had these experiences and they got stuck in my system. And they created this self-limiting belief or beliefs. And I'm choosing now to acknowledge that they've been running the show for a really long time. But what happened is done. That's the past. It's time for me now to let it go, to release it. And anything that's blocking me from letting it go, I'm giving it permission to release. I no longer need to protect myself by hanging on to what happened, because I'm an adult now and I get to run the show. And say one more time what happened or what you experienced. I'm letting it go now. And just imagine a breeze comes through on the sound of the vibration and just takes it away. unloads it. You can tap as you visualize lightening your load. And then say the connection between what happened and my self-limiting belief. And say your self-limiting belief. I'm acknowledging that this connection has been here a really long time. Maybe it was here to protect me. Maybe I felt like I deserved to be held back. Maybe there's some other reason it's been here, that I'm choosing to release all of that now, because it no longer serves me to be limited. It's time now to be fully successful in reaching my goals. And I'm breaking this connection. And just imagine it releasing. Just releases. And you keep tapping and then say this self-limiting belief. This belief that's been running the show for a really long time. And just say the belief out loud to yourself. And say, thank you for being here to try to protect me. But I don't need you anymore. I'm a mature adult. I'm a successful person. And I'm going to continue to develop my successful business and my successful life. And I'm letting this go. Right here and right now. And a few more rounds of tapping. I'm just going to have you take on and say, I am completely capable of being successful now. I am no longer held back by beliefs that don't serve me. I can do exactly what I want in my business. And I can judge my success all by myself. I get to choose. And this feels really good. This is my story now. It's a new chapter. You can stop tapping and just listen for a minute as we integrate what you just did. And then you can just come back. You might want to write something down and any insight or ideas that came to you. And then we'll have time to share and ask questions.